Freedom of information announcement. In accordance with the South Carolina Code of Laws 1976 as amended, the Marion Star Motors Enterprise has been notified of the date, time, place, and agenda of this meeting. Item 4 on our agenda, approval of minutes from April 9th.
So moved. Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise? The ayes have it.
Mr. Chairman, I'd just like the record to reflect our proxy for Robin Turner.
And I have a proxy for Alan Floyd. Recess for regular meeting and open a public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, discussion. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise, the ayes have it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Those in attendance, we have one item for public hearing this evening. This is for ordinance 2024-04. An ordinance authorizing the sale of 136 plus or minus acres, being a portion of Marion County tax parcel number 55-00-00-021-000 located in the Marion County Industrial Park, and to be dedicated to the restricted covenants of the Marion County Industrial Park pursuant to a purchase and sale agreement between Marion County for the use of Project Diamond. Is there anybody in attendance that wishes to speak for or against this ordinance? Seeing none, that would conclude our necessity of a public hearing.
All right. We need to adjourn our public hearing and reconvene our regular meeting.
So moved. Second.
Motion second, discussion. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise, the ayes have it.
Mr. Chairman, just so clerk knows, we close the meeting. The public.
Okay. Okay,
Thank you, Mr. Rogers.
okay, thank you.
Resolutions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of council, those in attendance. I do have a resolution for the 2023 PD Regional Hazard Mitigation Plan. This is a plan that we adopt every 5 years, and it says the adoption of the 2023 PD Regional Hazard Mitigation Plan, whereas the Federal Emergency Management Agency, also known as FEMA, under the Disaster Mitigation Act of 2002, an amendment to the Stafford Act, and whereas local governments are required to have a hazard mitigation plan to guide local governments through a post-disaster recovery, and whereas the Marion County Emergency Management Department contributed to the development of the PD Regional Hazard Mitigation Plan written by the PD Council of Governments to include hazard mitigation goals and actions, and whereas FEMA regulations require that local government adopt the hazard mitigation plan in order to be eligible for FEMA hazard mitigation grant funds that may be allocated for use by local governments to impact actions that are included in the plan. Now, therefore, but it is resolved by the governing body of Marion County, South Carolina, the Marion County Council, that the PD Regional Hazard Mitigation Plan is hereby approved and adopted on this day, which is April the 25th, 2024, excuse me. So we just need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise, the ayes have
Thank you.
it. Item 8.
Item A is still on hold. So that shifts us to item B. This is the one for which we just had the public hearing. It's third reading of ordinance 2024-04, an ordinance authorizing the sale of 136 plus or minus acres, being a portion of Marion County tax parcel number 55-00-00-021-000 located in Marion County Industrial Park, to be dedicated to the restricted covenants of Marion County Industrial Park pursuant to a purchase and sale agreement between Marion County for the use of Project Diamond. We just need to take action on third reading. You've had a full copy of this ordinance since second reading.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, discussion.
I have a question. Is the contract completed between Marion County and Marlboro?
The terminology that's in the contract, yes, all the negotiations have gone back and forth, and it's part of this is attached to this. So once you pass it tonight, that formalizes that agreement.
Thank you.
We got a motion second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise. The ayes have it, motion carries.
Item C, second reading of ordinance 2024-05. You have a copy of that in front of you. This is an ordinance authorizing pursuant to Title 12, Chapter 44 of the Code of Laws of South Carolina, 1976, as amended, the execution and delivery of a fee in lieu of ad valorem tax agreement by and between Marion County and South Carolina and a project known to the county as Project Deal as sponsor, and one or more sponsor affiliates provide for a fee in lieu of ad valorem tax incentives and certain special source revenue credits for the benefit of the project in the county and other matters related thereto. Like I said, you have a full copy of that, and I also went ahead and included with that a copy of the fee stream, just to remind you what we did with the inducement resolution.
So moved.
Motion
Second.
second, discussion. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise, the ayes have it.
Item D, second reading of ordinance 2024-06. You've had a copy of this one since first reading, I understand. Ordinance to provide for the issuance of sale of not exceeding $2,500,000 general obligation bond of Marion County, South Carolina, for the purposes for which proceeds of said bond shall be expended to provide for the payment of said bond and other matters related thereto. So you take action on second reading, please.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise, the ayes have it.
Just to remind you and those in attendance, we have two items for first reading. They do not require any action to be taken. Simply reading the title is sufficient. So item E, first reading of ordinance 2024-07, an ordinance authorizing the county to lease the tillable acreage being 131 acres more or less on Marion County tax parcel number 055-00-00-008-000 to Jimmy B. Calder pursuant to the terms of the attached farm lease, ratify the county administrator's prior execution of the same, and to authorize other matters related thereto. Item F, first reading of ordinance 2024-08, an ordinance authorizing, actually, that should be 09, should it not? No, that's right, 08. An ordinance authorizing the county to lease the tillable acreage, 118 acres more or less on Marion County tax parcel number 055-00-00-026-000 to Strickland Farms pursuant to the terms of the farm lease attached thereto, is what it should say, to ratify the county administrator's prior execution of the same and to authorize all of the matters related thereto. That's all we have.
All right, item 9, committee reports. Committee number 1 has no report at this time. Ms. Davis, there's nothing before that committee, is there?
No, sir.
Committee number 2, Mr. Kenny,
There's nothing at this time, Mr. Chair.
legal update,
I'm gonna be completely quiet tonight.
administrative update.
I just have a few things, Mr. Chairman, members of council and those in attendance. The first is, I would like to announce that we will have a microchip clinic for our animal shelter on May 11th. That's from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Free microchip clinic while supplies last. The Support Our Shelter, South Carolina and the Marion County Animal Shelter has partnered to provide 100 free microchips to the residents of Marion County. There's no appointment needed, and it will be here in our parking lot on May 11th. So if you need more information, you can call the animal shelter. I would also like to announce and thank Senator Williams. Senator Williams was able to appropriate $2.5 million to our county detention center. As you are all aware, we are in desperate need of expanding our detention center. And it is a state mandate that we do this expansion at a price tag right now of almost $15 million. So instead of taxing our citizens, Senator Williams was able to get a state appropriation of $2.5 million to help with those renovations. So we appreciate Senator Williams and his efforts in helping Marion County. So thank you, Senator Williams. That's all the updates I have. Thank you.
Any requests or comments by council members?
Yes, I have a couple of things. Mr. Administrator, I've been asking for a couple of months now to have a pothole fixed at the community center / healthcare partners facility that services this community on a daily basis. Whenever there's good work being done, I like to praise the people doing it. But what was done by breaking up some bricks and putting it in the hole is unsatisfactory. And that needs to be rectified immediately. It's a healthcare facility and it's a community facility. That pothole is right in the entranceway of the building.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We also need the windows addressed. I know it's been an ongoing issue for about 2 or 3 years now to get the insurance company to approve, but there are about 4 busted out windows that haven't been replaced. And again, that facility holds a medical facility into it as well. So if someone breaks in at night through the window, they can break in through the drywall to the medical facility part. My next question is, has the Forfeited Land Commission met yet?
Yes, they have met during the month of January and February. Right now, we are working on a plan. We have about 7 parcels that will be going out for bid. That particular procedure of what we're going to do and how we're going to do it will be, I will notify all of you, also the citizens, of when that will start. But we're doing our due diligence on the back end to get those properties ready to be sold for auction.
Now, under the statute, are they required to give a public notice when they meet?
No.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
The Forfeited Land Commission statute is pretty lax with a lot of different requirements. It is something that has always been viewed as we need to do that from a public standpoint. It's not necessarily there per the statute, but that's what we've always done. Anytime we've done any sort of Forfeited Land Commission sales, we have sent out public notice, noticed it on the website, noticed it in the paper, you know, those types of things.
I'd like to have a notice of when they meet going forward, as well as when they have the sales.
I will. Just to let you know, we have a number of FLC properties. We are starting with a small batch of properties. Once we get these sold, we'll go to another batch of properties. There is an extensive process on the back end to make sure that these properties are able to be sold, available, not lived in. So we're going through that process before we turn it over to our auctioneers that will then sell the properties for us. But I will make sure that everybody is aware of when that will happen.
Question for you on
Sure.
that, and how are we gonna dispute this, sell off these properties? Is it gonna be an online bidding? or-
Yes, it is a online auction through Howell Properties. And I've researched, and that particular site has done online auctions for forfeited land commissions throughout South Carolina and other counties. So the way that the process will be is once I announce that the sale is available, it will be available for a certain amount of time, maybe 2 weeks, 4 weeks, however long we deem necessary. Individuals will be able to go to our website, click on the FLC. It'll link them to where these properties are being sold. It will have the picture of the property, how much the property is, and you can go in and bid on that property.
I just have concerns because I have constituents that rather come in and be live.
I understand.
Good.
I wanted to try this process first because we do a tax sale for our regular properties. This way is a little more efficient. It's not going to require any manpower on the county's part in terms of pulling employees from their regular duties. Someone will be monitoring when, when the sale starts, how much. It will be a more efficient way of doing it. Now, if somebody is interested and maybe wants to come up here and we help them, we can do that. I'll make sure that those services are available. If they're interested, they can come. We'll have a computer set up and they can bid here.
Next comment, I know we all approved, the clerk of court relocating to the old administrative building. Under the statute, it says the clerk of court must maintain an office at the courthouse. I know in the past, because of close proximity of the clerk's office to the courthouse, that issue has never come up. But moving forward, will the clerk have an actual office at the courthouse per the state statute?
As far as I know, she still has access to the courthouse. She has I don't know if it's considered an office, but she has an area that she's able to access, still has keys to the courthouse. As far as her having an office that she's there, 9 to 5, her main office will be at the old administration building, but she still does have access to the courthouse.
And I haven't looked at this, just to add on top of that, I haven't looked at it, but it would satisfy the requirement. It's my understanding that all the civil files are remaining down there so that they are close to the courthouse. Has that changed that I know?
No.
No, okay. So that would satisfy the requirement of the office, and that the necessity of that requirement of the statute is simply so you don't have files clear across town and you're in the middle of a trial and you need to get a file, from the clerk's office, and you have to sit there and wait for 45 minutes to an hour, somebody can retrieve the file so that it's there on site. And so all of those, civil files were staying on site.
So is that building being monitored at all?
Which one? The one that she left?
Yeah, the one that she left with the civil files.
The solicitor is still in that office. We still keep that office locked.
That file's locked.
So no one's able to access that office just coming in.
Do we have cameras around that?
We do not. No, we do not. The cameras that were there, we did take those cameras, and those cameras are set up at the new clerk of court.
I think we need to put some cameras there if those civil files are still there.
I'll make a note of that.
Thank you. Next question, as we get ready for our budget meeting. So on another note about offices, will we be looking to bring the coroner's office into this building since we have space? Because that's an expenditure that we have.
I have not looked into that option. I mean, I can,
Having an office at the old administration office building.
I mean, it's a possibility. I just have not explored that option, but I can.
I think we should, because again, that's money that we're spending. That's my understanding on office rent.
Office rent where? At his
Yes,
establishment?
yes.
Okay.
We've got space. You can have an office here without paying rent.
Let me look into that. Need to
Can
get
you
a little more
verify?
information
Yeah.
and clarify a couple things before I'm able to speak on it.
Second to last thing, I have a list here. I've been working with our mail carriers in my district.
Mhm.
There are a number of roads that don't have any signs on them. Or signs have been broken, and they are training a new mail carrier who's replacing a great lady who just retired. And if they're training him where the roads are at, there's just some roads that don't have signs anymore, or the signs are broken. I have the list here that they put together.
Okay.
US Postal Service staff. I'll give that to you a little later.
Okay, yeah,
Um,
I'll take that list and make sure that those signs are put up.
Last but not least, let me acknowledge the volunteers at the Centenary Volunteer Fire Department, including Councilman Foxworth, who's been a part of that process of getting that department restarted. They had a grand opening over the weekend. Senator Williams came out and participated in that. We had a huge turnout. Before the actual event, the celebration, the fire department and other community members gave out, I think, over 100 and installed over 100 fire alarms in homes in the area where the fire department covers. I think it's a 5-mile radius from the actual department. So it was a great community day, fun-filled day, and we got a lot accomplished. And I want to thank all of the people who were involved in that, particularly Mr. Johnny Davis, who took the lead in getting the fire department refurbished, and all the other volunteers who participated in that. Also want to thank the staff at Wally's in Mullins, the great business that's helping us with our clothing and suits for the fire department. They have outstanding staff. And so we want to thank them for helping us in this process as well. That's all that I have.
I only have one, Ms. Walford, could you have Mr. Dow add to his list, Clinch Road, that's off of Foxworth Road?
I spoke with that
Asian.
gentleman. I spoke with that gentleman. Yes, I've been in contact with him and Dow will be reaching out to him.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Anything else? Are we having need for executive session
Yes, sir.
for personnel and contractual?
Yes, sir.
I need a motion to go into executive session. So move. For personnel and contractual matter.
Second.
Second, any discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed likewise. The ayes have it. Thank everybody for coming. Y'all welcome to stay if you want to. Came out of executive session. I need a motion to come out of executive session.
So moved. Second.
Motion second, discussion. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise, the ayes have it. We went in executive session